Welcome back, viewers. I'm joined by Ahmed Quraishi, who is a senior political commentator. Thank you very much, Ahmed, for joining us. As well as I'm joined by Colonel Retired Asad, who is a senior defense and political analyst. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us. Ahmed, starting with you. Ahmed, we heard the DGISPR's presser. We heard Prime Minister Imran Khan. Now, strictly speaking of the military exchanges we're witnessing, how much restraint is our current administration willing to show and sit back down with India for dialogue and avoid full-out war?
Pakistan has shown, of course, tremendous restraint, and Pakistan made one thing very clear from the very beginning, that it is Pakistan and not India that will control the escalation ladder. What does that mean? That means that Pakistan will decide how, where, and with what force Pakistan will respond depending on the situation. And Pakistan, of course, has made good on that. Of course, unfortunately, the Indian government and the Indian military tried to test Pakistan's conventional threshold and tried to, according to what they say, and I'm quoting their media statements, tried to call Pakistan's bluff. But obviously Pakistan was not bluffing. Pakistan restrained itself, listened to the rhetoric, and when India acted, Pakistan did not act or respond or retaliate in haste. It allowed the initial Indian jets that came in and violated the line of control, the ceasefire line in Kashmir, and the international border between Pakistan and India, allowed those jets, the Indian jets, to go back to Indian airspace. But then came the Pakistani response, which was a measured response. Pakistan did not go beyond what Pakistan should have done. And what did Pakistan do? Was to target and focus on Indian targets in Indian occupied Kashmir and demonstrate to the Indian military and to the government of Prime Minister Narendra Modi that Pakistan can do exactly what India did. And Pakistan did not go beyond that. So that is what you call restraint, and that was what Pakistan has demonstrated. And of course, as the Pakistani military has said before, Pakistan will control the escalation ladder. And that means if so far India is using its air force testing Pakistan, and Pakistan is responding with the same force. Pakistan is responding exactly at the same location, which is the disputed territory of Kashmir across the LOC, and Pakistan is not going beyond that. But if India goes beyond this geographical region, if India tries to expand the war beyond the LOC, let's say on the international border, then Pakistan will respond on the international border. If India increases the dosage, let's say if it introduces ballistic missiles, maybe Pakistan would introduce that as well. I mean, that is theoretically what it means when you say that Pakistan controls the escalation ladder. We will decide at what level and at what location we will attack. And that is a promise that Pakistan is keeping wonderfully. But at the same time, Pakistan has made something very clear. And I think the two statements, TV addresses by Prime Minister Imran Khan, are amazing, statesmanly addresses. Pakistan has given unprecedented offers. Pakistan is saying basically that we're willing to sit and talk. We are also willing to listen to you, India, if you have any evidence that proves that any organization based in Pakistan or any individual based in Pakistan was involved in the Feb 14 terror attack in Pulwama in Indian occupied Kashmir. But at the same time, while Pakistan will sit and talk, while Pakistan will listen and entertain and seriously go through the evidence if India provides that. And so far, of course, as we all know, India has not done that. But if India does all of this, that's good. But if India doesn't, Pakistan will not accept India making itself the judge and the jury, accusing Pakistan and deciding before any investigation that Pakistan is guilty and Pakistan is the culprit. That will not happen, and that is what Pakistan will not accept. But beyond that, Pakistan is willing to sit down and discuss and jointly probe the Feb 14 incident and anything else that India wants to raise, including, of course, terrorism. The wonderful thing is, the best part is, and that makes me as a journalist, of course, we're all watching this, we are all journalists, obviously, and we're watching the whole situation. The best part is that Pakistan is conducting these military operations with full transparency. Pakistan has opened up that area that India initially targeted, claiming that they killed 350 terrorists. Pakistan opened it up to international media, to international diplomats. Pakistan showed the downed Indian jets. Pakistan showed the arrested Indian pilots. Compare that to what the Indians are doing. The Indians are basically have a very, very controlled narrative. You can't get any information from Indian sources, from government sources of the media. They claimed, and they lied, they're misleading the international community, they're misleading their own public. They claimed to have downed a Pakistani F-16. It turns out that no Pakistani F-16s were not even used in the Pakistani strike on Indian targets in Indian-occupied Kashmir. So we're seeing complete transparency from Pakistan and a total lack of transparency from the Indian side.
Okay, Ahmed, clearly India is taking all measures to impact the way forward for Pakistan and testing the new administration when it is seeking bailouts and building relations across the world. How much of a distraction is this becoming for us as our way forward? Will it hinder international community support for Pakistani economy and, for Pakistani economic and political endeavors?
Mahrukh, that's a very important question. I was watching and seeing on Twitter what some of the Indian journalists were reacting to today's events and yesterday's, and it struck me. I saw one tweet by an Indian journalist, a female journalist. I'm just not remembering her name, and she basically said, a lot of people don't know this, that the attack in Balakot, near Balakot, the violation of LOC in Pakistan's international border, the area that was targeted is right on one of the main CPEC routes that connect that area of Pakistan to the border with China. So imagine, I'm not sure, of course, I don't know if one of the considerations by the Indian military and the government while picking up that target, I don't know if it was even a target, because what we know is that the Indian jets actually escaped and hurriedly, in haste, they dropped whatever payload they had. But if that was a carefully chosen target, they're choosing an area that lies right on the CPEC route. So is this a message of some sort? Because we know what the Indians are not really happy with the CPEC, and they have been pressuring the Chinese along with some of their other friends in the region. They've been pressuring the Chinese and telling them, look, Pakistan can't control its internal situation. Balochistan is insecure, according to them. Pakistan is politically unstable. They never have a stable government. So, why invest in the CPEC? Let's go to the other project, the other port that India is building in the region. So across the border from Pakistan and Balochistan. So we know the Indians are not happy with CPEC. So I'm surprised at this tweet that I saw by a prominent Indian journalist, who I think also, it's a lady journalist, one of our colleagues, and I think she served in Islamabad. She was a journalist here. So basically, it's interesting that it's quite obvious that India is, and we cannot also forget the timing, Mahrukh. It's very obvious the timing of this attack, Pulwama. The man who did it, of course, was an insider, Kashmiri. The explosives used were from the inside, but the timing was when, of course, the Saudi Crown Prince was coming here with $20 billion of investment in Pakistan, and of course we have already CPEC. And the Saudis, of course, also want to contribute to CPEC. And we have other countries also expressing interest. Of course, before that, we've seen the UAE leadership coming here. Other countries are interested. We have, of course, the Prime Minister, the President of Turkey, of course, is expected to be here very soon. So obviously, there's an element of an attempt to scare the renewed interest by the world community in Pakistan. India is not happy with that, and is probably trying to help themselves, of course, help Modi win the election. Of course, his situation is not really very good, but at the same time, it's quite obvious they're seeing Pakistan rise again. They're seeing Pakistan go in a very different direction. Pakistan is organizing, is putting its house in order, and they want to disrupt all of that. Will this work? If you ask me, will this work? I don't think so. I don't think India can go beyond what it is doing right now. I mean, you have to really be very, very suicidal and, I don't know, stupid. You have to be really very stupid to go beyond what you're doing right now. I mean, if India thinks it can go beyond sending some of its Air Force jets and testing Pakistan's threshold, if they can go beyond this They would be crazy because, we're looking at ballistic missiles, we're looking at tactical nuclear weapons, we're looking at a nuclear war. And that cannot happen unless, of course, India is thinking of ending everything here, and that would be stupid. Pakistan certainly does not want that, obviously, 100%, but Pakistan will defend itself, obviously, if India imposes a war. So can India succeed in stopping Pakistan's rise again, and Pakistan's, the new image and a destination for international investments? I don't think so. I don't think India will succeed, and we are watching Indians now